What is up, everybody? It's Joe from JLW Games coming at you with another cool video back in Planet Coaster 2 in the one and only Midwest Adventure. And today we're going to be adding some of these buildings here at the entrance of the park, because we had done the left side, we just hadn't done the right side much at all. We did add a Cosmic Cow already, but we're going to add a few more here on the right side. We're going to add the sushi store. And also going to add a Hats Fantastic as well. That way we have a good amount of different shops and facilities throughout the park. And now that we have these, I think there's not many other shops we haven't added just yet. They're actually, we've used quite a bit of all of them actually, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, we're going to keep it moving here. And I wanted to add quite a decent amount of detail to these buildings to make them look really nice, because it is, again, the entrance of the park, so everything needs to look pretty good. So basically, again, you enter the left, you'll head to the water park, and then to the right you're gonna head more towards the dry park. So but yeah, I wanted to add the sushi place because I didn't even really use this stall much, if at all, in Planet Coaster 1, and we have it in Planet Coaster 2 right away, so I've decided to go ahead and use it, which is nice. And then of course a Hats Fantastic, which we already placed one in the first dry section of the park, so I just wanted to add another one here. That way there's two food stands on one side and a gift shop on either side, so like they're still kind of even when it comes to the sides that we're on. So you have a food stand, a drink stand, and a gift shop on the left side, and the same goes for the right side. So I wanted to keep it kind of uniform. And the Hats Fantastic stand store it has a little bit more of a modern flair to it, more than the others. I wanted to kind of just do something different in style. That way they all kind of have like their own different styles and the way they kind of look. But I think it turned out pretty cool and pretty nice overall. So, but that's Hats Fantastic, and the sushi place, Ao Sushi, whatever it's called. I'm not entirely sure what it's called. But anyways, getting into our next part of the time lapse, we decided to add another flat ride, because our only flat ride we had before this was the Ferris wheel, and I wanted to add something kind of different, and a kind of somewhat of a thrill ride, and that's going to be our swinging ship. But I wanted to go ahead and theme it up a little bit and add some extra theming to it, so it's not just plain. Even though this is more, I would definitely say this is more of an amusement park more than a theme park, I still wanted to have some theming elements. I couldn't stop myself from having theming elements, because with the Wild Run coaster, which is what I decided to call it if you didn't see it during the live stream, the coaster is called Wild Run, and we did make custom trains for it on like adding like the scenery pieces to the coaster cars. But I wanted to do something similar for this flat ride, and I wanted to make like the big wooden beams, the support structure have like a look of the wooden beams, and just kind of lightly theme up the ship a little bit, as well as putting on the name of the ride onto the side, which gives it a little bit more uniqueness, I think, when you actually add things like this, because it's gonna be kind of unique to that park, and it's not gonna be something you see in everyone's park. It just kind of makes it more unique for your park in general. And I wanted to add some like different ends to the ship, on the swinging ship, just so it had a little bit difference. So we used I think it was the mythology ship pieces for the end, and then we also gave it a little sail in the middle to kind of top it off for the theming for the ride. So I kind of have ended up deciding that this whole area is going to be kind of its own area in the end. It's kind of more of a it's got a little bit of that Viking-ish theme. I used a lot of the Viking pieces in this area, but it's more of the Voyage adventure area, is what I end up calling it. I think we build like a little entry sign or sign as you enter the land area, and I'm kind of making it its own section for pretty much because we built some shops over here as well with some restrooms because I wanted to make sure that there was restrooms rather than just having besides just having restrooms in the water park. I wanted to make sure there was some spread throughout the park because we didn't really have many. Anyways, so I've been working again on the park and live streams and such. So if you see like progress jumps where you see like, oh, this has been worked on a lot since the last episode, that's mainly the reason why. And the reason why I don't record it at the same time as streaming, because I think my PC could handle it, but at the same time I like to record my videos in much higher quality. So like I up the bitrate and also up the resolution to 1440p. That way it's a nice video for you guys for your viewing pleasure, because otherwise it would be in 1080p and not very great frame rate either. So I just wanted to make sure, I always try to make sure my videos are just trying to be as quality as possible. But again, there's a lot of work that needs to be done in the park, and I do a lot of the detail work in those streams and everything. So we decided to go with the name Voyager for this swinging ship ride, and because I was, for a moment when we were first trying to figure out, when I was trying to figure out what kind of ride I should put in, it just kind of clicked, and I was like, oh, that'd be perfect for this area right now, because we kind of themed the coaster, with a similar theme. Kind of like, it's not really a Viking theme, but it is and it isn't, but I use a lot of the Viking sets. But it's like loosely themed. Like, again, like I said, there's not much of a theme in this park. It's just kind of a loose theme that kind of goes hand in hand, but I just want to make it look quite nice, if that makes sense. And sometimes just doing some theming elements can really help with that. So I wanted to make this queue line look quite nice as well. I didn't want to keep it just plain, so we add a lot of these planters. Honestly, just adding planters makes everything look much better, especially once you get some foliage and trees in there, and sometimes some flowers. It just looks nice, and this actually boosted the scenery rating up to 100% after we got all this in. So yeah, and also adds the prestige to the ride as well. I was thinking about doing a path cover for the queue line itself. I didn't get to it in this episode, but it was definitely on my mind, so we might see that get a little bit of a change, mostly because I don't like the Planet Coaster logo on the queues that they give us. It still turned out awesome regardless, with the trees and everything. I think after we decorated a lot of this section up, it started to really start to come together after a little bit of time. And yeah, just a lot of trees and foliage, honestly, to make it look really, really good. And we still have a little bit of path to kind of fill in, because it's not completely done yet, and that was my goal, is to try and fill in from the entrance all the way to the coaster with some like different stuff. So anyways, we're kind of calling this section the Voyage Adventure section. I wasn't planning on doing like some heavy themes, but the coaster kind of ended up kind of getting us into this a little bit, because the coaster had to have somewhat of a little bit of theming, because I had to do some like or I had to make the buildings for like the drop track and the switch track and stuff like that. So just some very loose theming, and then I also connected the staff paths to the backstage area here as well, so they have more than one access point to get back there. So that was very, very nice. And of course, just adding more planters and foliage and scenery just makes a huge difference in the park, to be honest. Once you add things like this, it just adds a whole lot to the pathways and everything, and just the general look on how it feels. And so anyways, I was pretty happy with how this turned out. But that's kind of about do it for this episode pretty much. So Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe for more amazing content like this, guys. And if you want to watch these episodes early, I allow my members, channel members, to watch my videos early, so you can hit that join button if you want to support me further and get those amazing perks. So I appreciate you guys being here. Let me know in the comment section what you think of the park so far, and we'll see you guys in the next video or live stream, whatever you end up being at. So I'll catch you guys then. Have a great day and a cool tomorrow, guys. Thanks, and goodbye.